developing there?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you back in the Weather Center. I got in with forecaster in with us from USA Severe Weather Network and Illinois Storm Watch, and I got uh, Isaac, forecaster Isaac with us again. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning has just got issued. So this is due to this quasi system is continued down here in Arkansas. This is our first severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect for White County down here, north central Walker County and central Arkansas, western White County and central Arkansas to about 3:30 Eastern time. At 2:54, a
Central
severe
Time.
thunderstorm. Yeah, at 2:54, a severe thunderstorm is located over. What is that town?
So I'm just going to kind of provide a little bit of
60 miles of wind gusts
basic.
and up to quarter-size hail with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
storm.
yeah. So you can see there's a little bit of a Boeing segment there with that developing mesocyclone. That's not rotation confined to the base, of course. That's further aloft. So I mean, you can just see there's some shear with that. So I mean, just obviously more elevated. So I mean, there's a little bit of a rotating updraft with that. So I mean, obviously indication for some hail with that. But then obviously there's a Boeing segment, so there's air that's sinking down. There's a stronger downdraft there, probably just north of that, north of where that little bit of a mesocyclone is. And I mean, if there could be a low, I mean, obviously a little bit of rotation at the base, obviously a weak, so nothing that I would assume that is tornadic off the bat there. But again, just overall, just if you go back to like reflectivity, just looking, and obviously the velocities with that, I think they're kind of hovering around severe criteria with that downdraft. So
Yeah,
so
so
I
you probably want
obviously,
to get away from windows also too. And there's a little bit of hail. Look at this, Isaac.
yeah, and you can see just where that up, where the more elevated updrafts, kind of where that hail core is. Just it's kind of broad where you get uh, a broader updraft there, but I think the strongest where the I think we're near the top of that cell where obviously the air is coldest. You can see just east of where Guy is. I think northern sections of the warning. That's I think where northern sections of that warning polygon there. I think that's where we have. I think that's where we have some maybe hail that's around 1 inch in diameter, maybe give or take a little bit with that. But yeah, we have actually two different, just along that with that particular multi-cell I think that's more of a multi-cell. Not obviously, just it's not discrete. There's one developing mesocyclone or rotating updraft, but
Mm-hmm.
not rotation at the base, but
Yeah, but
rotation
it's
that
something we
is.
gotta have to watch though.
Yeah, of course. And when there's a weakening updraft, I mean that's an indication where you got a stronger downdraft with that. And I mean, there is concern easily with, especially we want to watch the parent updraft. I mean, obviously near the ground there, and with just both of those combined, um, I mean, we gotta watch. There's developing low level shear with that. So, I mean, just saying, these could easily just pretty easily. Obviously, that rotation that you got is fairly broad and it's weak. It's not. We're not really seeing much gate to gate low level shear with that. So I mean,
All right,
just
tornado warning now. Tornado warning.
yep, it does look like. Yeah, I was gonna
All right, we
say.
gotta go to wall coverage now since we're under a tornado warning. So looks
Yeah,
like we'll be staying
that's
with
a
you through
nice.
about the free fall.
Okay, you don't have to read the whole text. Okay, just saying.
Sorry.
But yeah, just saying. Near
All right.
Georgetown, you got a little bit of a hook. You got a little bit of a
Since what?
hook signature there, so
Since
I think
what?
the
All right,
velocities
I'll
are
just read that.
increasing with that.
All
Yeah,
right,
sure, go
just
ahead.
it's South Central White County, Central Arkansas. At 3:03, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Prairie, or 8 miles north of What is that? A thing says moving at
Yeah, I was going to
55
say,
miles an hour. So this is a storm, but this is a radar indicated tornado. We don't have a tornado that's on the ground, but if you're in Georgetown or anywhere in this pink polygon, you need to be into your tornado safe spot. I mean,
yeah,
this
I
is
was going to
a
say,
One thing I'm gonna point out. I'm looking at the radar right now.
mhm.
It's definitely got a tight signature.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has a tight signature. Tilting the radar with it, rotation is actually even stronger up aloft.
yeah,
Let me look at
definitely.
the. Let me
You're
look
looking
at
at
the.
0.9.
You got 70. You got 79, 70 mile an hour inflow, and about 16 mile an hour outbound winds aloft.
Yeah, I was going to
So
say that's pretty
definitely
strong
have
elevated shear.
you definitely have enough to have a tornado with that cell.
Yeah. So if you're in this one, you need to be shaking shelter. So Isaac, tell people what they need to go. If you're in a mobile home, this would be the time to evacuate that mobile home right now. This is
Yeah,
a tornado warning.
and I will point out that obviously rotation at 0.5 degree, it's developing. So there's developing low level rotation with that cell as it approaches Georgetown, and obviously when we get a stronger downdraft with that, all that stronger winds, that stronger shear aloft will likely mix in at the
Hey,
ground. So that's when the tornado threat is likely going to increase with that cell.
yeah. If you look at the new imagery on that now, you kind of see a donut hole developing in there.
Yeah, that's a good sign that you got obviously not just developing rotation with that, but something that could easily be mixing in at the ground. A strong downdraft that could easily become your tornado there. It's just very easily there, and
Looks.
yeah,
It's also looking like we might be picking up some debris.
could you go
I haven't
into
looked.
CC 0.5, see what?
I'll go to that. Okay, hold on a second. Just give me a second. I'll go to that. And yeah, just a little bit. Starting to get some blue speckles there. You think so,
I
Isaac?
mean, obviously, nothing we can, no confirmed, not radar confirmed tornado, but there is possibly, sometimes when you get those cooler colors, maybe some greens with that, that could be like smaller debris, tree branches and debris, just smaller debris. You never really know, but again, nothing, it could just be clutter with that. But once you get a discrete area where the colors are cool, so like your greens, your blues, and it's all surrounded by those warmer colors, and on that dual pol radar imagery,
Mm-hmm.
then that's something that's hinting that there could be a tornado in progress with that,
Yeah.
but nothing
So, like I
that
said,
is confirmed by the Weather Service at this time.
no, I don't see nothing. But like I said, if you're in this polygon, you need to be shaking shelter now. I mean, go to a basement, small terry room, a lowest floor. Make sure you have a football, some kind of helmet on. Even this is a radar indicated tornado, folks. This still could topple a tree down, and we don't want anybody injured, right?
Yeah, correct. And again, obviously upper floors, exterior walls, not your best bet. Again, just a small interior room, get under something sturdy. And again, just make sure that you're just getting yourself just out of the way, just to prevent injury and whatnot. And again, obviously, there is indication that there could be some small debris with that. Maybe like nothing that
Okay,
yeah,
radar updated on it. It still shows that signature, that tornado vortex signature, but it's not. But the relative hook echo, it's not really as organized as before, so it may be on the weakening trend,
I was going to say sometimes.
or it's getting obscured by some rain, which is likely the case here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
sure.
think this is going to be some straight line winds with that, and you still got to be. If you still got to take these tornado warnings very seriously, even this doesn't even drop a tornado, you can see some very straight line, straight line winds what we've been talking about from the last night. Me and N talked about looking
Mhm.
for hail. Don't really see any hail with the storm, but I do see the potentially for
There's
some
a weak
sheared.
updraft.
Yeah, it looks like a weak updraft to me. I'm switching sites and see if we get any better good deception here. I'm checking out the severe thunderstorm warning. It still goes in effect about 3:30. That storm still looks like it could produce some quarter-size hail.
But here's
Right.
the deal.
And
Today there's a lot of speed shear in the mid to upper atmosphere, so that's helping
mhm,
some storms rotate today.
that's what me and
Right.
Ann talked about last night. You had that speed sheared. So if you're in Gregory, if you're in
That
Dixie area, what?
that can offset directional shear too. That's why they had that tornado watch out.
That's right. Pulling up, wait till the next Emmy cheer. Still looks like. And what does your radar scope show?
It's actually looking more diffuse now.
And what does that mean, diffuse?
Diffuse meaning it's kind of like broadening its circulation out. It's turning more into like a shear line, but that could mean damaging winds coming out of
Yeah,
that. Still seek shelter.
yeah. You still want to be away from the windows. That's the best thing to be in this type of environment, right, Isaac?
Yeah, right. And again, just the directional shear is still there. So I again the tornado threat you'll likely see it makes a difference just several minutes within some of these cells. I will point out. So
Yeah,
sometimes
me too.
a brief tornado may pop up. And just within a couple seconds, it does a little damage, and
Yeah,
then that's it. But again, I
but
will point out that just how organized you get all this mixed layer instability and all this elevated shear that can really mix in at the ground. Obviously, the we're not talking much surface based convection with this. So
mhm,
I
look at
again
that.
I will point out again some of that just looking at the CC signatures there, obviously that could be cluttered, so you can't really like immediately determine what's debris and what's it's the vertical pulses. So I mean some of that green colors and whatnot, you never know. It could just be a very tight area of hail. Maybe it could be some just vertical returns to the radar. So
Yeah,
again,
Right.
yeah, so I will point out that obviously these tornadoes obviously are just radar indicated, but again, something could touch down. Just
yep,
it makes a several minute difference. You could get
yeah,
maybe sometimes you get tornadoes even when there's just a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, that's why
yeah. I
it's
mean, I seen
important.
that me too. See, my cousin had that too once, where I lived in Springton, we had that one line of thunderstorms went through, and she had no tornado warning, just popped up so quick. So
Okay.
that's just how bad it can be.
Right.
But again, like I've been mentioning in the group, this is not a big tornado day, but there's definitely enough turning, just enough turning with height that even with these intense areas of straight line winds, you can get a tornado spin up out of this.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, Isaac. Right?
Yeah, right. And again, most of this wind shear is elevated. It's not at the storm base, but obviously anything that mixes in, that could cause the storms to really rotate easily. And again, you got a little bit of low level shear with that, and even though it's mostly just reds you're seeing at the 0.5 degree angle with the velocities,
Yeah,
there could still be very embedded, like stronger rotation at the base. And when you get that strong downdraft that mixes in, that could become your tornado. Just a couple
yeah,
seconds,
that's right.
it can
Yeah,
really make the difference with
yeah. If
what we're
you're
seeing
still in
with
this
that.
polygon, you still need to be. You don't even need to be in a. Today's the day. I mean, you don't want to be in a mobile home. Even any weather event, even this quasi system, you still do not want to be in mobile homes
Yeah,
for
and
this type of event.
I'm gonna watch that activity there just north of Little Rock as well, because obviously we've had two parent you know, two different like areas of, you know, mesocyclones. Obviously, that's a good
Yeah,
multi-cell you got with that. Um,
Yeah.
and I
hey,
mean,
But you see
there's
that, folks, that is the day where when you start seeing two parents supercells, that's where you get very strong tornadoes, right?
well, not very strong tornadoes. Not necessarily. Maybe they could be like, I mean, like I said, you know, there's rotation. It's not specifically at the base. There is a little bit of weak rotation at the base. Just looking at those cells just north of Little Rock. And again, could you
All
maybe
right, we
focus?
just had a new severe thunderstorm warning now has been issued for
Okay.
Dunklin County, Missouri here. So let me
County?
switch it. Dunklin County, Missouri.
Oh,
All right, can you Kennesaw County in central Missouri, South Central Dunklin County and South Central Missouri, Dyer County and Western Tennessee, South Central Lake County and Western Tennessee to 4 p.m. At 3:14, a severe thunderstorm is located over Horfinville or near Sarah, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So this is a quick storm, folks. If you live in Kennett
this one
area, if
will
any of you,
have winds
and
with
this
it.
still has a tornado tag here, so we could be getting another spin up tornado if that happens. So let's
Yeah,
pull up
and
the velocity
Isaac,
and
are
Yeah,
you still
Ian.
there?
Yes.
If you look at that storm that's going into Pemiscot County, you can see with the aloft areas, you're starting to get a bit more rotation up in it now
Yeah.
already.
Right. So, JD, you know what we were talking about is like there is stronger rotation. It's not at the base of the thunderstorm, or you know, obviously the base that is like you know just where you got your clouds and rotation like at the base. You know that's where you know just closest to the surface where all that air is saturated and everything with your storm. But further aloft, you know, it may not be evident right away. That's where the
all right,
rotation's
I'm
a
back.
lot
I'm just checking
stronger.
some
That's where you
things
get a
here.
developing downdraft,
Another-
and maybe you know just with it's not base level rotation, but that could you know that you know
Yeah.
something could develop really easily. That's a very strong downdraft that's embedded within there, and obviously with
Or
situations like this, you could get a tornado develop with
Yeah.
some of this
So
with little warning.
If you're in Dunklin County, I would not decide to take cover quite yet, but need to figure out where you want to go in case you do go under a tornado warning because it could have some weak sheared right over here by Smithland, right over here, right? There's a little weak sheared, Isaac, and that's
Yeah,
all that's going to
yeah,
do is I've been learning. Here's what I've been learning the past. I want to tell you guys. I learned from a meteorologist that we've been having these small tornadoes, and it only takes a little bit of sheared to get it going.
correct. Yeah, and I will point out, obviously there is that low level shear that's with that. So again, nevertheless, you got that concern for um, strong winds with that cell. Again, you know, gusts near 58 miles per hour. That's considered severe, and maybe some hail with that as well. Doesn't really look like it's severe hail with that one, but I will
Let me
point
check
out.
that.
Yeah, I was going
did
to say
any of you
that
notice? Did any of you notice that there's now a new severe thunderstorm warning?
yes,
Where's that
that
at?
is with that.
Let me
It's
check that out down here for you guys. All right, we got Jackson County, Arkansas. Can you see the text, Isaac, or I need to blow it up a little bit more?
I mean, obviously that cell that's north of Little Rock. Could you, if you switch to the KLZK radar, or I mean,
There.
I think we could get a hint on. I mean, obviously we're
Here,
starting to get more
I'm gonna take
convective
the
development.
warnings off for a second, okay? And I'm gonna show you how this line's developing. I'm gonna show everybody how the line's developing. This
Yeah, could
line,
you
this is
loop
what's
it?
gonna cause the damage and winds. You know, that's what's gonna cause that. Is the quasi system? It's a bunch of a line of storms, but yeah, this is a severe thunderstorm warning right over here. This goes in effect into about 4 o'clock. At 3:15, a severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from Rosebud to near Mount Vernon to near Morgan and moving east at 45 miles an hour. So what you expect? 60 miles of wind gusts and hail the size of quarters again. Yep, here we go. Another tornado text here again on this storm. So we could be getting some rotation. Things are probably starting to kick in gear now.
Yeah,
So if
right.
you're
And I will
living in,
point out. Yeah, and I will point out. There's very broad shear with along that line, and obviously we're starting to get obviously those. There's multiple cells further aloft with that line where we have some developing updrafts, and that's kind of what we're seeing. It's just hinting towards that hail threat. We could get some embedded hail over 1 inch in diameter at times, but also what that indicates is that there could be obviously some stronger rotation that's developing not at the base of the storm but
yeah,
further aloft. There's rotation further aloft with that, and then what might happen there is obviously there's a near the storm top and just further aloft within the storm, and then that could become a shallow, and then it's
what happened to Isaac?
Don't know.
Let me myself on mute and I'll see what happened. Okay.
Okay.
He's still there?
yeah, it's trying to gain bandwidth here for my internet, but yeah, I will point out there's rotation
All right, the
further
tornado
aloft.
warning has just expired right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks like that storm that's near Augusta. Obviously, the base rotation is weakened, but there is still a downdraft with that, maybe some embedded gusty winds with that cell. But
Yeah,
we're more
we'll
worried
say
about
what.
those warnings that are severe warned towards Searcy, Lone Oak, again north of Little Rock, and this could be another heads up for you folks in Georgetown, Augusta, some of these other areas. And I will point out also that cell and the Boot Heel, Missouri, that is tracking towards Caruthersville, west of Dyersburg, from the National Weather
Yeah,
Service, Memphis. That I believe. Obviously, there's rotation further aloft. I think there is a little bit of rotation that could be that could develop at the base of the storm.
yeah, I'm starting to
Just
see a little
weaker
bit.
rotation. Yeah, I was going to say weak
Yeah,
rotation at the base of the storm, but
yeah.
it
So
could
here's what
get.
I'm gonna tell everybody quick on this one warning. I was gonna say you don't have to go to your tornado safe spot right now, but just think about where you want to go in case this would upgrade, because we already had a tornado warning with that one cell, and I mean we have. I haven't heard any tornado touch down. Did you, Isaac?
Yeah. I will point out, obviously, there's nothing reported, no tornado with that cell right now.
That's good. That's good
That we're
news.
aware of. But again, that's a good news. But I will also point
Yes.
out, even for areas that are severe warned, obviously it's just prepare to take tornado precautions. But either way, it's
Look at
still
that
good to
there.
be in a your best bet is site built structure. Again, if you're in a mobile home or any kind of manufactured home, make sure you got a good foundation, a good safe place to be. If you get some the straight line winds and everything, obviously in mobile homes and such too, just make sure make sure be aware of anything that could fall, like heavy tree branches could crash down, and that could be devastating. You just want to try and get low and get below ground. Just prepare. Not saying the tornado threat is it's already substantial with
That
those warnings,
might.
but it will develop quickly, and it could catch you off guard, and you got to be really prepared, just in case. Tornadoes can develop very quickly with this environment. Just have a way to receive warnings, and even if the storm could go on top of you and it's still severe warned, it may still cause damage to
Yeah.
mobile homes or outbuildings, and you just want to try and be aware as these storms push through, and before these storms impact, you got to make sure that you have a place to take cover.
Yes.
And
Here's
and
something
again, especially if anything were to
starting to,
fall onto your house or
yeah, like a
such,
tree.
whatever.
That's what I'm getting concerned about. We're starting to get a little bit of rotation right over here with this one severe thunderstorm warning from the Memphis site. That is starting to have a little bit of weak rotation. This is what we could get another tornado warning with this area if it continues. What it looks like, right?
No.
Yeah, and again, that velocity returns, and just I think there could be some increasing inflow within there, and obviously we want to watch that elevated rotation fairly closely. So if I were able to share my screen, I could share just you got the base velocities, but also you want to look at the velocities further aloft as well. And also, it would be helpful to factor in the storm motion as well. So, like if the storm slows down a bit, maybe that gate to gate shear is going to really increase, because you're factoring in all that inflow, all the winds further aloft that could easily, I mean, just with a little change in storm motion, you could get a tornado developed fairly quickly.
Right.
And even stronger winds as well. And another thing to really pay attention to, just the conditions further aloft, not just what you're experiencing at the ground.
It's kind of got like developing what's a comma head rotation signature on that one in Missouri. If you look at the reflectivity, it looks as if it's developing a comma head rotation signature. Trying to.
You think it's trying to form a? Looks like looks like
it would be a rain wrap circulation.
Low level lift with that. So I mean, low level convection that could be embedded within that. So when you got something like that, that's a hint that maybe you're starting to get a signature that something could easily form with this. You could start seeing a little bit of tornadic development with that, and just in the short term.
Yeah, here, I'll put this thing in motion again, and there just still shows a little weak rotation there. You still need to be. Does it still have rotation
it's
in?
Getting tighter. It's getting a little tighter up aloft too. That could be why the reflectivity returns is showing that comma head rotation on it. That reflectivity, it's getting a little bit tight aloft. Not much though.
Right.
So you still, if you in Duncan
why you
County,
got that
I
little
was
bowling ball signature to it.
somebody check the CC and make sure we don't have anything developing. We don't yet. Hail's very low on this. The echo tops look pretty decent, Isaac. The echo tops do.
There's no CC.
Yeah, I was going to say, the storm heights, it looks like the storm tops are a little over 40,000 feet. So, I mean, we do have those, we do have a good updraft with that. But when you get height falls and a very tight pressure gradient, things could easily change. So, again,
yeah, that's what's concerning me. But you get that
so
kind
while
of.
we're not seeing widespread upscale growth, as was of course, we still got diabatic heating, so we're still getting some of those stronger updrafts, and again, that's a good indication that you may have some hail with that. Maybe it could be smaller hail, maybe it could be near 1 inch in diameter. You never know. But there is that possibility. Some of these cells initially, but then the options, you get a stronger downdraft and good mixing, those stronger winds further aloft mix down at the ground, and that could be a rapidly progressing tornado threat with any of these cells along this as things do converge into congeal into like a linear storm mode. Especially you want to watch that area near Little Rock, just north of there, fairly closely as it continues to progress towards Highway 67, and just many of those communities just in the path of that. Just be aware of the a tornado could develop at any time without warning, but also we're mostly concerned about the damaging wind concern, which
yes, that's the biggest concern we're watching. Let me pull velocity up again, and let's see. looking through here, still does show some. How'd the rotation look, Ian, you think?
On the storm in Arkansas?
The one in Dunklin County, Missouri.
Oh, it's weakened.
Well, that's some fantastic news. That's what we really want. But still, I would suspect we'll see some more coming up. You think we'll see more warnings, Isaac?
I mean, it can happen. I mean, what we are expecting again, just with this overall line of storms, we're
I'm still watching
expecting
this
mostly
one
a
severe
damaged wind
thunderstorm
and
warning.
tornado threat, and still with that upscale growth, that
Yeah, there's still some rotation
I mean,
down here in White County.
for a tornado threat with that line as it goes into the evening hours.
Yeah,
Maybe
so like I
early
said,
overnight, but that's when the boundary kind of stalls out, and that's when we're expecting mostly heavy rain and localized damaging winds towards the latter part of that watch period as we head into the late evening into tonight. And
I'm checking.
That's when the flooding concern is also going to be elevated for areas around the Ohio River, maybe down into the Tennessee Valley as well. So just again, all low-lying areas and areas near creeks and streams, always good to have a plan in case flash flooding were to develop.
This storm has a really nice bow echo on it in Arkansas right now.
Yeah, I was going to say we got a very good bow echo that has formed again with that line of storms, and you're likely seeing gusts well into the 55 plus mile per hour. Severe wind gusts. So I mean that's when we're talking those gusts in a straight line. Those straight line gusts. So anything that's parallel to the onset of those damaging gusts. I mean, so power lines. Tree branches. Will likely be impacted. So I mean, just the quick change in conditions there. In terms of the wind, I mean that could still, straight line winds at times can produce as much damage as a weak tornado. So
we know that already.
That can fall into your house or property or anything, you do expect some concern in terms of like property damage and whatnot as well.
Yeah, I won't rule that out either. So we only got 2 warnings in place, Isaac. So you want to sign off a little bit and come back if there's more. What do you want to do on this, or stay with it?
I'm gonna jump off of here, but yeah, we will continue to monitor conditions and monitor for.
And we'll break back in if we need to.
Possible warnings. Yep.